Hello, everybody. This is Betsy Teresa Tommy. I'm a graduate of agriculture and a postgraduate of food science and technology, and I'm continuing with my research. All I'm here today is to break certain myths and bring in certain clarity about what is so called gluten free diet. For those of you who aren't aware of what gluten is, let me make it familiar to you. Get into any random retail shop or a supermarket and pick out any random pack of biscuit, and you can find gluten free printed on its packaging material. I wouldn't say every pack of biscuit, but then one and three are for sure gluten free. Now, what is gluten and why are people so adamant in having a gluten free diet? Gluten is basically a protein that is found in cereals like wheat, barley, and rye. Rye here is RYE and not the usual rice. It is an edible cereal which is having a kind of resemblance to wheat. I'm emphasizing on it because many aren't actually aware of this particular cereal. Alright, so it is a protein found in the above mentioned cereals. Now, what is gluten-free diet? A diet that doesn't include food which contains gluten. Obviously, it shouldn't include wheat, rye, barley, etc. But then that is not possible. So what people are doing is that they're processing these cereals, removing the gluten part out, and then they're consuming it. So that is a gluten-free diet. Now, people stress so much on a gluten-free diet. It is because they think that is a healthier option. Ironically, that is absurd. Sorry to say that. See, there is inherently nothing unhealthy about gluten. There are three categories of people. The first category, those people who are perfectly normal and have no problem at all in consuming gluten, be it any gluten based food, chapati, bread, or biscuits, or anything, they have no problem at all. The second category is that these people they do develop certain allergic reactions on consuming gluten. The third category is that they are completely intolerant to gluten. They can't consume any gluten based food. If they consume, that would result in certain abnormalities like fatigueness, severe diarrhea, joint pains, seizures, even fertility problems, and on a long run, it can be fatal. Fatal in the sense they can develop certain intestinal problems. In that way, it could be fatal on a very long run. Now, this third category of people, they are actually suffering from a disease called celiac, and the problem is that their immune system is actually identifying this particular protein called gluten as a toxin, and then and it is overreacting and it is trying to attack on it. That's why they are intolerant to gluten. For those people who are having this problem, it is advised to go on a gluten-free diet. That's okay. But in the remaining population who aren't diagnosed with this celiac disease and yet prefer to have a gluten-free diet, I would say is an expensive and a useless choice, because these people are actually increasing the risk of cardiac diseases because there is a potential reduction in the consumption of whole grain. As I told you earlier, there are their own consequences for a whole grain consumption and a processed grain consumption. So they're actually increasing the risk of cardiac diseases. And there are also many more misconceptions related to gluten. One is that people think that they gain weight on having gluten. That is again absurd, because you gain weight out of the calories regardless of where it comes from, be it gluten or non-gluten. It has nothing to do with it. So that is an absurd idea. And I also want to make one thing very clear to for those people who are actually tolerant to gluten but still do not eat gluten, is that when gluten is removed from one particular product or any processed food, obviously it has to be substituted with something else. It can be an extra sugar, extra calories, which is not always favorable for the body. So that is not a wise choice, I would say. So, for those of you who think that you have celiac disease, it is better that you consult a doctor before making any changes in your dietary plans. So, choose your food wisely, Consume all what you can consume. See, if your body allows you to consume certain things, do consume it. It is not that thinking that is a healthier option and just putting it away. That is not a wise option at all. So, all of you stay healthy, eat healthy, and be good. Thank you for watching.